Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Latina Mic Drop. I am Miriam Simon, your leadership expert, and I am a proud Latina from the LGBTQ plus community. And I am here to bring you good vibes, good energy, so that you can enjoy your day and get the week started. So I wanted to talk to you today about networking. And networking is something that I used to be so afraid of, and I used to be so frantic about it. And I used to be so nervous, and I used to think that who am I going to talk to? What am I going to say? How am I going to talk to them? How am I going to make conversation? Why would people want to talk to me? And the other thing too is that I was a very closed off person. And I was a very closed off person because I had a lot of walls up in the beginning. And two, I didn't have the information that I have now. And now I have some strategies that I use to be able to communicate with people and to be able to talk about me. I didn't think that people would be interested in knowing about me too. So there's several reasons why networking seems difficult and is hard, but there are certain things you can do and a certain mindset that you can come with. And there are very key benefits to being able to network efficiently and being able to create community. And let me tell you, I'm out here and I am going to conferences, maybe 2 or 3 a year. I've had a little bit of practice and I've had some experience under my belt at this point. And that's the whole thing, just like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it becomes and the more comfortable you feel in these types of environments. So don't be afraid to just show up to a networking event or to participate in them. Some of them have plenty of opportunity for you to meet new people. And I'll talk to you and tell you a little bit about what I've done in this recent one, and which is why I'm bringing it up because I really want you to be able to make the most of your situation, make the most of the networking event that you're going to. A lot of things are pretty organic, and there are reasons why you sit next to certain people. There are reasons why you end up being at a conference, right? Either because you're going there because your organization is paying for you to go so that you can learn about your industry and get better and come back with tools and do a great job at what your career is focused on. There are personal reasons for you to attend these conferences. Also, sometimes it's to meet different people or you're trying to join a certain organization and you're trying to figure out what they're about, or there's industries that you're interested in. Maybe you want to pivot in a career. Maybe you want to learn more about your community. Maybe you want to learn more about the industry. Maybe it's something that you really want to earn your hours and learn as much as you can. So those are different reasons why you may want to go to a conference and want to go to a networking event. And sometimes it's really just to build your community, to figure out, hey, these are people who are interested in the same stuff I am. So how can I get to know more people who have similar interests, or even other people who are working in your industry but aren't necessarily working in the same thing you are, so you can expand your knowledge as well. I didn't always have such a great experience, and I'll tell you a quick story that happened to me. And this is what you shouldn't do because it was one of the biggest turnoffs for me. And I was headed to in New York. I went to an event and I had been looking forward to it. And I am very new to some of these conferences and networking events. that I don't really know anybody when I go there. And I don't really know who to expect to see because I'm so new at these. But at this particular networking event, at this particular conference, I ended up sitting right in front of somebody that I actually knew. And I thought that I was going to have a good experience, right? Because now I can at least have a conversation with her. And I wasn't expecting her to spend the entire day with me or anything like that. But we were going to be working closely together for other reasons. And I was really surprised and taken back by the behavior because first of all, it wasn't expected, right? For me to meet somebody there that I actually knew. Then the second piece was maybe she had an important meeting that she needed to go to. But to me, it really came across as I wasn't as important for her to speak to me. And she spoke to me for a hot 2 minutes and then she walked away and then I never saw her again. And she just didn't seem interested at all to speak to me. It was just a bad situation. And I was very enthusiastic about meeting her. And I was very enthusiastic about speaking to her. And the biggest piece about this was the fact that I was looking for somebody to coach me for a particular skill. Now, I'm not going to say what it was because I don't play people out like that, and I'm not gonna put this person's business out there. But what did happen, and I'm sharing this for you so that you don't do the same thing because you can miss a business opportunity. So many of us are entrepreneurs as well. And when you're going out to networking events, you really don't know who may need your services and who is looking or scouting for potential coaches. So I'm an executive coach, a leadership expert, and I know the power of being coached. So there is nothing that I do now because like I am not doing things the hard way ever again. I'm not going to take forever. Coaches are the people that shrink the time that it takes me to do something because they help me see my blind spots. They help tell me what other people won't tell me. Not because other people don't tell me, it's just that they're not coaches, so they don't know how to do it, right? There's a specific skill to coaching. And that's why I look for coaches because they can help me in the area that I want to be coached in. So I had been looking for a coach for this particular skill because right now I'm prepping myself to do that as part of my business. And so what happened is it was the biggest turnoff because obviously you need to build a relationship with them and you need to feel comfortable with them to feel them out and see if it's going to be a good working relationship. I don't just jump into things just to jump into things. And I'm not going to pay just anybody because this coaching stuff is not cheap. And I need to feel comfortable with the person that I'm going to work with. So I do kind of, work with them or just kind of have a few interactions with them to see if these are the kinds of people that I can work with. I didn't think anything of this interaction because I thought that I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I said, oh, maybe she has something she needed to get to, or maybe somebody she needed to speak to. And, it just wasn't a match for us at the moment. And what happened was that she was just so into her own agenda and to her own people, or for whatever reason. And to me, then we had a second interaction. Then to me, it came across as I didn't have what she needed. And she just brushed me off like I was nobody. And I say that because other people that we had in common were people who had more followers, had more connections than me. People don't know who I have connections with. And that's the thing, right? It's just that you never know. But the whole thing about it was that regardless of the followers and regardless of all of that, I don't think that you should be rude to anybody. And I don't think that you should brush off people like they're no one. And on top of that, she missed an opportunity because I was willing to pay her. So I was willing to pay thousands of dollars for coaching I had been looking for, because I wanted somebody who was from my background that I can rely on, who has been doing it, to help me cut the time, right? And so I ended up going with somebody else because of this interaction, and because it wasn't a match. And that's going to happen too, right? Where you aren't a match with somebody you might have looked at and thought you were going to have synergy with, but you don't. I was part of an expert panelist for Forbes Coaches Council, and you can check out the article 14 Ways Business Owners Can Cross the Line with Assertiveness. And I'll tell you really quickly what I wrote about. So mine is ignoring regular people when networking. Dismissing people you think are nobody at an event and only wanting to speak to the high and mighty titled people is a huge mistake. It's a mistake because you rub people the wrong way. And if they ever thought about working with you or hiring you because you are knowledgeable, then forget about it. Although you may be more established, you'll lose business from not acknowledging regular people you meet. And that's exactly what happened to me, because at that moment, I didn't have a business. At that moment, my book wasn't written. At that moment, I didn't have my blog, The Chingona Times. I was just starting to do things here and there, and we had one thing in common. But it's really not cool to treat people who may not have as much as you or not be established as you, and not treat them the right way and not give them the respect. And not to say that she was rude, but she totally brushed me off. If you're interested in the article, I'll put it in the notes. And there are 13 other ways business owners can cross the line with assertiveness. It's really important that you read through this and get the conversations going and check to see, hey, maybe am I doing any of these things, right? And so now let me jump into giving you 3 key benefits of networking, because there are opportunities for growth and advancement. So networking opens the doors to job opportunities, partnerships, mentorship, and promotions. Often it's not just what you know, but who knows you. And that's the thing. If you're not visible and you're not walking around and you're not talking to people, people will never get to know you. And that is something that I did in my job. At my regular 9 to 5, for years, I was going to different networking events and going to different meetings. And actually, through the employee business resource groups, I was able to go where senior executives were. And these senior executives began to get to know me and started conversations because I was a leader. I was a Hispanic Society leader. And so out of nowhere, my soon to be boss ended up seeing me 3 to 4 times before I actually worked in her department. And that's how she got to know me a little bit. And through every interaction, she was able to see who I was. She was able to see my energy. She was able to see how I spoke to people, what I was doing, how I spoke in front of the group, how I addressed large groups, what I was about, what my EBRG was doing at the time. And let me tell you, that opened the door to me not just doubling my income, but quadrupling it. And then through that, I was also able to have partnerships with people. So people started to get to know me. And then I was able to have mentorship opportunities too. So I am 100%, if you're in an organization that has employee business resource groups and you go to these meetings and you get to speak to other people, this is how you can probably even work in a different division. probably even work in a different department, probably even get your dream job, right? Doing something that you have more autonomy, or work for a different supervisor, or get new knowledge that you were thinking about. The second benefit of networking is access to knowledge and resources. So, conversations with others in your field can help you stay informed about trends, tools, and strategies. Get insights you won't find in a Google search or training, which is true. How many of us know, right? All about unwritten rules and strategies that people come up with because they're doing the job. So there's been plenty of times when I've been to a networking event, especially when I went to an HR conference last year in Las Vegas, I realized that I knew a lot. I was able to help other people in their organizations and help them with what I had done, and vice versa. They were able to help me with what they were doing. And I started to think maybe that will work in my organization. Oh, let me take this tool back and see if this is something we can do and this is something that we can work on. And trends, right? The trends, for me personally, that's how I ended up becoming a coach, because I realized that there's a huge gap equity for women and their salary. And as an executive, I realized that I have the access and I have the information, and I can help others get there too. So you start to see the trends. The one recently that I saw was people like me who are in their 40s, they're empty nesters. They have a great job, have money to spend because you're making more money, you're pretty established, and then you don't have any little kids anymore. So you have more time or freedom or resources, and you can pay to do certain things. And the truth is, there is a gap because I can't find everything that I'm looking for. Like I mentioned earlier, I get a coach everything that I'm doing now. I am not doing the things the hard way. And I realized that that was a trend, and that's also what helped me create my own business as well. To say, you know what? People are looking for you and people need this. You start to see the patterns that are happening and you start to see how you fit in. And the other piece too is that trends help you see what is happening in your field that you can either make better or bring back that awareness so that you can go ahead and face that and apply anything or amplify something or create strategies around it that maybe you hadn't thought about. And then the third piece for networking is visibility and credibility. So consistent networking builds your reputation. When you show up, contribute, and support others, you position yourself as a thought leader or go-to person in your industry. That's why right now I am at this conference, because regardless of my coaching and my leadership, I am still in charge of developing others in my industry. It's very important to stay close to the front line. And I don't have that capability as much because I am an executive. So I'm not as close as I used to be to the work. I want to know what's going on in the industry to figure out what's happening. How can I contribute? How can I show up? And also, on top of that, I want to be able to show that even though you started in a certain position, this is as far as you can get. This is what you can do. And you really do learn so much. And let me tell you a story right now about how I came out to this conference. And yes, I have colleagues who are here with me, but I was thinking about how do I meet new people. So a few things that I did differently this time around was I am really thinking about how I can create more and do more for the larger group. And that's why I came to this, because it's really important for me to stay up to date. And I wanted to meet new people and expand. And I've been focused on reaching wider, not higher. And therefore there are so many other people that I can talk to. And there's so many other people that I would love to have conversations with and just see what's going on in their industry and expand my knowledge outside of my organization. What I did this time is I said, okay, I'm going to go downstairs, go check in. And I went down and I got my badge and was ready to sign up. So we have free time after the conference to do things. And I'm in a city where I've never been, and I wanted to go around and take advantage of the moment and get to know different people and get to know the city that I'm at, because I don't know when I'm going to come back here. So then I happened to run into a woman who was coming out of the elevator, and she looked lost, and I told her where to go because I had just gotten my badge, and she went to get her badge. And I don't even know what I said to her, but like in 5 minutes created a whole moment to go see the city together. I said, I'm going to be open this time, and I'm going to be more collaborative and be open to new relationships and be open to sharing with other people, which is absolutely, totally not what I do any given time, right? I grew up that they tell you don't talk to strangers, don't talk to strangers, or no, you can't go with anybody else, you don't know them, stranger danger. If you haven't heard about it, ask your parents or ask your aunties or ask somebody, because that's something that we used to say, and that's what we grew up with. We ended up going to see the city 2 days, not just one, twice. And she ends up telling me that the last time she came into this city, she had a horrible experience, and she actually lost a friendship that she had for decades because of the bad experience that they had. And so this time was her second chance to be able to explore the city. She was going to do this on her own, and so was I. I was going to do it on my own, and I was going to go out on my own and explore the city anyways. So we ended up going together, and we really did bond, and we really did speak, and we really did have great conversations. And we talked about our families, and she talked about her husband, and I talked about my wife and my kids and what I'm doing and what she's doing. And it's just been so incredible to be able to create connections with perfect strangers that I really would have never thought. This is the power of networking. This is the power of being open. This is the power of being curious. This is the power of asking questions. This is the power of speaking up. This is the power of helping, right? I started just by helping her out and telling her where to go. And then I was curious. And by being curious, I ended up finding out what she was going to do and what she had in mind. And then me asking questions and asking the right questions, and then trusting. I can tell you that was so scared just to even get in the Uber at 3 in the morning to get to the airport. I woke up and my clock said 222, which is to trust. And I said, okay, I'm going to trust, but I'm really nervous and I'm really scared. And I don't normally travel on my own. This is something that I'm doing. This is actually the second time that I travel by myself to a conference for work. And I am so grateful that I can do this. It is just amazing of how far I've come in 25 years of work. I'm really great. Like, I am so grateful. I am so grateful. And there really is power in creating your own community, and there really is power in creating your network, and there really is power in getting to know different people. And she's from California and I'm from New Jersey, New York, and we're from two totally different areas, but we're working in the same industry, and we've been able to communicate and we've been able to share an experience that normally we would have just done by ourselves. And this year too, I decided that I was going to sit in different locations so that I can get to know other people. And there really is so much power in being open and doing things that are outside of your comfort zone and doing things that stretch you. So not only stretch you in going to different places, normally I wouldn't even leave the hotel. I would just stay here and I would like just stay in my room and not go anywhere out of fear. And this time I didn't. I went to the park. I went to a boat ride and I came and saw the city, and I would have never been, my eyes would have never been open to seeing any of that. The way that I see life now is totally different, and I am allowing myself to experience great things and experience joy, which is something that is very new to me. As you can tell, I get emotional about it. And I normally would have felt really guilty about doing these kinds of things without my family. I still miss them. It's not like I don't miss them. Of course I do. But I've worked really hard to get to where I am currently. Oh my God, I can't believe how emotional I'm getting about this. But it's just such an amazing thing when you really work hard and you make it. And then not only that, as a leader, I am here giving the opportunity to my coworkers to be able to experience this way early in their careers, which was a goal of mine. And now to see it come to fruition for them, and for them to be there, some of them are in their 20s and their 30s. They're way younger than me. They're 10, 20 years younger than me. And for me to have been able to give this opportunity to them and to have been connected with this organization, this nonprofit, who is in our industry. And this is the second year we're attending. And then also providing that information to the people virtually as well. I'm just so grateful that I've been able to do this. And it's not about me, it's about what other people are learning. Imagine I'm doing it now, they're doing it 20 years before me. So just imagine how far they can go. And that is the beauty of what I do. That is the beauty of how hard I've worked. That is the beauty of all the sacrifices that I've made. That is the beauty of dealing with people I really don't want to sometimes. That is the beauty of stretching myself. That is the beauty of really even trusting in myself and knowing that I can make it, and knowing that I'm worthy, and knowing that I have what it takes, and doing things scared and doing things that were hard. And this is what I challenge you with. I challenge you with going to a networking event, meeting new people, speaking to them, help, come from a place of help and not come from a place of what I want and what I take, what to take. Organically, things happen. And there are some people that you won't have an interaction with that's good. Like, that's just natural. I was on a table and I was talking to two people, and they were not interested in speaking to me at all. They were answering my questions, but they did not ask me anything. They did not care about anything about me. And that's okay. Maybe they're new to it or something. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, there is plenty of opportunity, and things happen organically. And sometimes the people you meet today, you don't see anything from it a year, 2, 3 years later. And I never do anything to get anything in return. I've never been that way, and I never will be. But just being open and having conversations and sharing information and receiving information is very beneficial, and you will find joy, and allow yourself to have that joy, and allow yourself to explore, and allow yourself to be curious, and not don't wait for people to give you permission. Listen, I've learned that, and I am just so happy and excited. And I can't wait to hear about your networking events and to tell me how this went. And I'm telling you, in the beginning is awkward, and not with everybody, because not everybody is that receptive as well. That, remember, they're nervous too, and they feel funny too, and it's out of their comfort zone too to do this. But every year that you go and every time that you attend, you can definitely start to meet people and definitely start making interactions. And I love this time too, because one of the persons that did the opening act, and she does spoken word, she actually had that tattoos on her arm, and she had a beautiful pearl bracelet. I said, oh my God, I have to go get a picture with her and I have to go talk to her and I have to just seeing the tattoos and pearls reflected in somebody that was really doing and saying so much that really resonated with me. I just need to go speak to her. And normally I don't do those kinds of things, but I did. And I'm learning that with every single time that I do it, I have good interactions. And I'm learning how to share. So I happened to have my book in my purse and I gave it to her. And she was so happy. And it really just created a beautiful moment for us. And it was just so cool. And I bought her postcards that she had and she signed my postcard and everything. And she called me a superhero and that was just beautiful. And that's the power of sharing and the power of building community and connection. And I really implore on you to do the same, to stretch yourself, to be open, to try new things, to have curiosity. And thank you so much for tuning in to Latina Mic Drop. I can't wait to go to California because I am going to take charge event for Lean In Latinas. So if you're in the California area and you want to meet up or you want to talk, like reach out to me. And I can't wait because now this time around it's my second year and I will know many more people. And the interactions are going to be so different because I do know them. And who knows who's looking out to come and meet me. So if you're coming out there, I'm ready. Come and meet me. I'm open. I can't wait. I don't even think I'm gonna have enough time to be out there and talk to so many different people, but I am just so happy and looking forward to it. And if you're in the New York area and you want to join the Lean in Latinas Nueva York, Nueva Jersey circle, hit me up. I'll put the link in the notes as well so that you can join our group. We're doing virtual meetings every fourth Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. so that we can get together and grow as a group individually. It's the best thing ever. I'll help you through it because that's my whole point. That's the reason why I'm doing it. I don't just do it at work. I'm doing it on my own personal time now as well because that's how important this is to me. Because I didn't have the community, and there's always been a woman who helped me. There's always been somebody who helped me. There's whether it was a woman or a guy. There's always been somebody, but the majority were women. So I'm super grateful, and I can't wait to have our next podcast episode. See you on the flip side. Take care.